Hey guys, welcome to another video here in Yosemite. So today I am visiting for the first time since Tioga Road, which is Highway 120, has reopened for the season. So the road's typically open from late May until October, and it's got some of the best hikes in Yosemite as well as some of the best viewpoints. So the point of this video is I'm going to take you along today. I'm going to do a couple of hiking trails. I'm going to show you some of the other trails and some of the viewpoints so that you can plan your day and avoid the crazy crowds in Yosemite Valley and head to the nice, quiet and stunning Tioga Road. So come with me and don't forget to like and subscribe. Tioga Road is located in the center spine of Yosemite. There are several campgrounds along the way, but the main ones, Crane Flat and Tuolumne Meadows, offer full camping, while the ones in between are primitive. To access Tioga Road, you take the turn at the Crane Flat campground and gas station, and you drive all along the road until you get to Tioga Pass and the east entrance to Yosemite. It's approximately 16 miles and 30 minutes from the valley, and it takes around an hour and a half to drive the 58 miles of Tioga Road. So here's the sign, and Tioga Road is just up here. One thing I always recommend you to do is come to these meadows that you'll see all along the trail. This one's right as you come, it's maybe like half a mile in, but you can see there's a herd of deer just grazing there. I've also seen bear on this road as well, and I even saw some deer rut ones, which was really, really cool. Well, this South Fork waterfall is not anywhere near the epic scale that you get in the valley. It's really cool that you can see an awesome, typical California Sierra waterfall right off the side of the highway. Once you get to this point, you sort of leave the forest area behind. So up until this point, there has been some rocks, but it's been very forested. And you can see that it really does open up and you get quite a lot of granite and you sort of wind. There is some steep roads, so bear that in mind if you are nervous about driving on windy mountain roads, but it's worth it for the views, trust me. The turnout for Lucan's Lake hike, which is a hike that I have done once, but it wasn't one of my favorites, so I think if you're pressed for time I'd skip that one. But you can see just from this turnout here that the views for the Sierra really start to open up, so you can look down into the meadows, you can see some snow-capped peaks up top, and then the road winds across the granite over in the distance. On the other side of the ridge, I was just on the road over there earlier, and I have come across a family of marmot. There's 3 marmot that I can see, and one was actually just here in the lay-by, and they're just there. I've taken some footage for you, which I'll show you now. But yeah, there is so much wildlife up here. As I said, you've got to be really careful. I've had a bear run in front of a car before on this road, so you know the pictures weren't great, but I saw it at least. But yeah, there is quite a lot of animals up here, so definitely keep your eyes peeled and come into these pullouts and just spend some time and have a look, and you might be surprised at what you see. Like, just for an example, I'm just going to show you this. You can actually see that's actual marmot poo on there. All of that is little bits of marmot drop-ins, and then there's one guy down there, he's peeking out now. They're quite reluctant, they're quite shy, so they will run away, so don't get too close. But bring some binoculars or a zoom lens and you can have a good view of them. There's plenty of information boards along, so just to give you a bit of context, this is where I entered at the Crane Flats gas station, and I've driven all of this to get here. So far you can see just from the topography map that this has been pretty much within the upper montane elevation. So this is pretty forested, but you can see as we get here, this is definitely heading into the subalpine and alpine regions, and this is where we are right now. There's actually a really valid reason why I've come to this spot, and you can just see there's actually some deer prints and stuff here. But the reason that I picked this spot is because if I can get a little higher, I'm hoping that potentially up here, maybe? Yeah. There, above me, you can't really see it, but Half Dome is just there. So it just gives you a little bit of a clue of some of the views that you've got to look forward to coming up. I'm sure this is not, I'm not tall enough to pick that up. But as I said, there's some nature trails here, there's some information boards, which is always fascinating, and yeah, great stop if you want to have a little peek at Half Dome, but trust me, you will get an amazing view of Half Dome if you keep going. It's a gorgeous morning here, and you can just see how quiet it is. This is June, this is the school holidays, and it's so quiet. One of the main reasons people don't come up to Tioga Road as much is because it's seasonal, and because there are not as many major viewpoints like in the valley. You don't even need to go on a hike and you can see upper and lower Yosemite Falls. You know, you've got access to Glacier Point, the Glacier Point Road, where you can just drive up and have a look. So this kind of offers a bit more solitude, but you have to work for those views a little bit more. But I do think just driving along the road is worth it anyway. But anyway, enough rambling, let's carry on. So now I'm going to take you on one of my favourite hikes in all of Yosemite, and this is definitely one of the best hikes on Tioga Road. This is the North Dome Trail. So this is a really good hike if you want to spend half a day hiking. It's about probably 3 to 4 hours of a hike, so it's not too lengthy, but you get an amazing view of Half Dome. You just get an amazing time anyway. Like, you're in the forest, there's wildlife, there's really nice views, there's Indian Rock Arch up there as well, and you can even get to Yosemite Falls from here. So this is the parking lot. Now, I have come very early on a very quiet day, so there's only one other car, but there's some bear boxes just down here where you can store your food, and then they have a pit toilet, and there's some trash receptacles as well, and this is where I'm going to start the hike from. Now, if you have watched my channel before, you'll know I always say read all trails. So it sounds like there's a lot of downed trees, it sounds like there's a few patches of snow, and apparently the bugs are horrendous. So I'm going to make sure I put in some bug lotion, and then I'm going to head on the trail. So let's go and I'll show you all about it. There is a full video about this hike, by the way, on my channel already, if you want to check that out, from like last summer. But I'm going to do the quick version today so I can show you everything else. So here at the trailhead, you can see it's 4.4 miles to North Dome, but bear in mind it's 4.5 miles to North Dome and then another 4.4 miles back. So you can see here's the pit toilets. I'm not going to show you them because we all know what they're like inside, and then here we go. So I've already saw some deer and marmot on my way in, but I've now got deer on the trail. They do not want to go. That's it, off you pop, Deirdre's. Okay, I think the coast is clear. definitely worth a 0.3 mile detour to come up and see it. It's not something you see too much of in Yosemite. You see a lot of domes, but you don't really see a lot of arches. So there it is. Right, I think it's time to head to North Dome. Get closer again, this is North Dome, just there, and then here is my favourite view actually of this trail. I know Half Dome's really cool, but I think the view of Half Dome is better from Glacier Point or from Clouds Rest. I actually, when I come up here, this is the view that I always think is the nicest, and it's good old Yosemite Valley looking towards the west. Gorgeous. I think this is the perfect space for me to pause, have a break, and just enjoy the views and soak up the sun. Oh, so I've just spent about 40 minutes up here on the sort of full summit of North Dome. It's not actually North Dome, but this is the bit I like. There's definitely a few more hikers out on the trail now, and I'm starting to head back towards Tioga Road for my next hike of the day. Okay, so that hike was amazing. Definitely put it on your list when you're up on Tioga Road, but there's plenty more to show you, so let's get moving. Next up is what I believe to be the best viewpoint on all of Tioga Road, and this is Olmstead Point. There's a nice big parking lot, and there's even a topography map of the whole of Tioga Road and Yosemite, so you can see exactly what you're looking at and how far you've come. So this is where I am right now. That is Half Dome, Clouds Rest, and you can see Tioga Road. Now I'm definitely somebody who prefers a hike to a viewpoint, but this here, Olmstead Point, which you can see just down here, this is the parking lot. It's a huge parking lot, loads of space, and they've got a topography map of Tioga Road showing where you are. And the main draw up here is of course this incredible view of Half Dome. In fact, it's not just Half Dome, but you can see Clouds Rest and Half Dome. How cool is that? Now I believe there's an unofficial trail from here, but I've never done it myself. And then yeah, you can see you're right up. At this point you're really high up into that alpine area, and it really shows there's a lot less grass, a lot more granite, but still trees poking out, and it's exceptional views. So make sure you stop at Olmstead Point when you come up to Tioga Road. And a top tip from me, if you just walk up on the rocks here and just come to this viewpoint, there's a cool tree, which is not a Joshua tree, it is pine, but it looks like a Joshua tree in some ways, with Half Dome in the background. Really cool. Parking lot at Olmstead Point is literally just here, so I'm literally just the next pull-in down the road. And I will get a lot closer to this, but I just wanted to show you, this is Tenaya Lake, and it's a really, really pretty viewpoint of it. So obviously we'll get closer to it in a sec, but I just wanted to point out that this is a really nice little spot to get that bird's eye view of the lake. Now, I've actually, when I hike Clouds Rest, you actually head from down here and take the trail all through this range, and it's a really cool hike, but there's still some snow up there, so I'm going to do it in a couple of weeks. But here are some of the highlights of Clouds Rest. Good morning, I'm here on the Clouds Rest Trail from the Sunrise Trailhead, and I'm about to cross over the creek. I'm getting swarmed by bugs, but as you can see, I've got to cross the river, so I'm taking my boots off. The mosquitoes are insane. Oh my god, it's way too cold for this. Oh, shit, that is freezing. Oh my god. So 1.75 miles into the trail, you start to get some of your first views of the day. Now this is just a sample of what you're going to expect. The views are going to get way better. But yeah, you lift out of that sort of woodland, and it becomes a little bit more like a boulder field with some pockets of trees. And I'm going to hike through this, and then there's going to be, if I remember rightly, a series of switchbacks. So the bugs are relentless. This is really intense. So just behind me here is the lake. I'm 3.5 miles into the trail, so this is a fair sort of point to call it a halfway mark. Yeah, I'm just gonna take this plateau and then it'll be time to climb. Wow, you can see so far. So this is the Snow Creek. Over there is North Dome. You can see Tioga Road way in the distance, Tenaya Lake, Mount Hoffman, and Tuolumne Meadows is way beyond this range. Absolutely stunning. This is incredible. So I'm just making my way up through the granite switchbacks before that final spine, but it really is opening up now. So some people get kind of freaked out by this section of the trail, but honestly it's not so bad. It's a lot wider than pictures and things make it look. And obviously the higher you go, the more these insane views open. That's Tenaya Lake. That's where I parked the car and I've hiked from today. Almost at the top. Just ahead of the summit, my first view of the valley. So this is Snow Creek, which will take you down to like Mirror Lake. You can see Half Dome. Sentinel Dome is just that clear dome behind it. And the valley way into the Central Valley over there, which looks hazy out. But still, the top is yet to come. This is probably the sketchiest part so far. Not too bad on that side, but lethal drop on that side. But wow, look at that view. So you have Half Dome here. This is Illilouette Creek, Sentinel Point, Glacier Point, sorry, Sentinel Dome, Glacier Point, and there's the valley. So here I am on the top of Clouds Rest finally. Sunrise Trailhead is literally just between that spot I just showed you and where I am right now, and that's where you will park for Clouds Rest. If you just want to come and see Tenaya Lake, there's pull-ins right by the side of the road, and check out this view. If you bring your own boat, you can paddle out on Tenaya Lake. A lot of people swim there, and some people just spend the whole day sunbathing on the shoreline. It's also a great spot to stop if you just want a picnic and a break from the drive. Tuolumne Meadows has a post office and a grill which are open seasonally, and there is a campground which is set to reopen in 2025 for the first time in years. This is also a great spot for wildlife. I've spotted black bear, coyote and deer here frequently, and it's a great place to come to get away from it all. You can also hike from here to Cathedral Lakes, which is a 10-mile round trip to gorgeous, pristine alpine lakes. And there is a full video on the channel of that trail as well. So I've just come to Lembert Dome, and there's a little map here, and I just wanted to point out how far along Tioga Road. So this is that gas station, and this is the road that we've taken, and this is where we are. So there's not much left before you get to Tioga Pass. Definitely 80% of the way across. But I'm going to take a hike on Lembert Dome Trail. A 3-mile round trip hike will take you between 1 and 2 hours, and you will summit onto Lembert Dome after a walk through the forest, giving exceptional views of the high country and Tuolumne Meadows. And here it is, the final ascent up Lembert Dome. And 35 minutes later, I'm almost back at the car, and there's another view of Lembert Dome. So definitely an easy hike. There is parts that it's quite steep, but it's not long, so if you have time, do it. I definitely wouldn't do this and like Clouds Rest though. You kind of need to pick how you're going to mix and match the hikes. And I'd say this is a short enough one to do alongside North Dome or May Lake, maybe even Cathedral Lake, but I think Clouds Rest needs to be like a standalone hike up here on Tioga Road. Of course, there are so many other trails, viewpoints and spots along Tioga Road, but these are my top tips if you are planning on spending a day up on Tioga Road. I hope this video helped you with your vacation planning. Let me know in the comments below, and please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, as it helps my channel grow. I'll be back again soon with more vlogs and more guides from Yosemite and other national parks. See you soon. Fire.